Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Leroy and Stitch, and that's neither one of those. That is Lilo and Reuben. So yeah, false advertising maybe, I don't know. Actually, yes, this is very much still a Lilo and Stitch adventure, but if you're curious and you've been watching some of the other, of course you've watched the original film, but have you watched like the series or this other sequel movies that came out? This is one of those direct-to-video. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my stand here so I could see something better. Now you can see it. That's not right. No, that's not good. No, jeez, I should really work on this stuff beforehand. Anyway, forget about it. Anyway, this is a sequel, direct-to-video sequel that came out in good grief 2006. It's an hour and 16 minutes long, and it finds us after the events of the first film and the series, which is like 65 episodes, 2 seasons. I watched one episode of that, and what I didn't realize until I guess later on in the series, that it's it's a missed opportunity by Disney. Or they tried something and I wasn't aware of it. I do not keep up on all things Pokemon, but essentially that series was a gotta catch 'em all Pokemon series, but with characters, creatures, aliens created by uh, artist, designer, and voice of Stitch, Chris Sanders. So yeah, they're all very much in his style of art. Maybe somebody else drew them, but they all were done in the spirit of his style. And I forgot to grab his sketchbook. I collect his sketchbooks. He releases usually a new one every year or so. It's been a while at Comic Con, and I get one. So he and his wife are there. He has them all signed. They're really cool, and you get to see some Stitch like artwork, a lot of cute fuzzy things, but lots of curvy young women throughout. So it's a nice collectible book series that he's done for many years. I think they're up to number eight or nine. Anyway, I'd know if I had just bothered to go to my office and grab it. But anyway, in this is sort of the culmination of the series. So if you thought maybe I didn't watch, like I said, I only watched one episode. If you were like, oh, how's this series going to end? Maybe it didn't. Maybe it left off in a cliffhanger. Maybe it didn't feel complete to you. Well, guess what? This is meant to probably cap all that off, because it builds to a pretty big finale that involves all of the alien creatures, all 625 of them, because Stitch is 626, uh, all the experiments. And Lilo's job throughout the course of the series was to find, capture, and make any of them that are bad good, and give them a purpose there in Hawaii where she lives. So basically, she lives in an alien paradise in Hawaii. Her and her sister, and David and Stitch and the other aliens. What is it? Dr. Jumba, Pleakley. Yeah. So they're back. And by the way, everybody is back from what I can tell. Chris Sanders is Stitch. Davy Chase is Lilo. Kevin McDonald from Kids in the Hall is Pleakley. Where are you? Did they skip you? Come on, there you are. David Ogden Steers from MASH, remember him, and so many other things. Dr. Jumba, and Tia Carrere is back as Nani. So yeah, we got Kevin Michael Richardson as Captain Gantu, and Rob Paulson is Experiment 626, also known as. He's given a name in this. His name is. I just said it earlier. It's him right there, Reuben. He makes sandwiches. And Jeff Bennett plays Dr. Jacques. I gotta say this properly. Jacques White. It doesn't. He's a ridiculous bunny. He's or Hamsterville. There it is. Dr. Van Hamsterville. Whatever. Either way, he looks like a white bunny, and the way he speaks with his silly French accent, he very much sounds like. This is a reference to Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail, when there's a white rabbit. If you haven't seen the movie, those of you who've seen the movie know what I'm talking about. But there's two different scenes, and they're sort of meshing them together in this. It seems to be a very direct Monty Python reference. So there's a taunting Frenchman in one part of the film, and there's a white rabbit that seems very harmless and innocent until you get too close to it, and it is the most deadly creature on the planet. And in this case, well, Dr. von Hamsterville is not deadly, but he makes an attempt at it. In this, we get to meet Leroy. He sort of forces Jumba into making another creature, a clone in a sense of Stitch, and but making him evil. Like the whole point of Stitch in the first place was that he was evil from the start. He's kind of a bad guy. He's very dangerous. He's out of control. He's chaos. And Lilo, his love of Lilo, in the end, is what sort of tamed him. And he's still trouble. He's still lots and lots of trouble. But in the sense, he's one of the good guys, I guess. You want to in a rough sense. He is he's quite the good guy compared to the madness, which is Leroy. And then von Hamsterville continues to make more clones, so that there's a whole army of evil red Stitches or Leroys. So that becomes a big battle, and yeah, I'm spoiling a lot of this, but again, if you're a big Lilo Stitch fan, you've already seen this. I'm really not ruining a ton. You're still going to want to watch this if you're a fan of Pokemon without being Pokemon. But there's a lot of design elements that make you go, that seems like a Pokemon. It could have been a Pokemon. Or if you just love Lilo and Stitch and you just want to see more, well, I say watch the original film, watch the series, watch this. There's also a bunch of other just Stitch movie and just other spin-offs and movies that are throughout this. But this one keeps with the same cast. The animation is not, I mean, it's what you get with direct-to-video on VHS back in the day. You're not going to get high-end quality stuff animation-wise. It's going to be Saturday morning cartoon. It still has a lot of the great painted backgrounds, a lot of the soft textures and everything else that are very static. They'll look gorgeous. There's a lot of new things, of course, a lot of the Hawaii backgrounds, but a lot of the spaceship backgrounds and things like that are still just fantastic. But they cut a little bit of corners. They know they do in order to animate when it comes to something that's not feature film level. So that's fine. That's just the way it is. It doesn't make for a bad movie. It's still fun adventure. It's got its own jokes, great delivery from the cast. It's not Lilo and Stitch. It is not as good as the original. No, not at all. But it's still, if you like the movie, I don't think you'll be disappointed with this. And if you love the series, this will obviously be a capper to all of that. And one of the things I want to say at the end of the film, to watch the credits, if you were ever curious as to the names of the other 624, not counting Reuben, Stitch, and Leroy, that's 627. If you want to know the names of the 1 through 624, well, you're going to get them during the credits. There's two lists of names going at the same time, and they blow a good 5 minutes of credits I think the credits go super slow just to make it possible to fit 627 total names in this whole process. It's pretty crazy. My favorite, Lot's wife. I don't know what number it was, but Lot's wife is the name of one of them. Maybe it's made of salt. It's a biblical reference. I'm just saying. There's a lot of like Mitch, Brad. Like there's just a ton of generic names throughout there, but lots of good wacky alien names too throughout. By the way, just to give you an idea of where this starts out, I mean, we get to see that at the very beginning, Lilo and Stitch and the gang, they pretty much they get an award, basically. They're awarded by the Galactic Council for collecting and saving all the experiments, and they get their wishes to come true, in a sense. They can offer them anything they want, and Stitch really wants a spaceship. Dr. Jumbo wants a lab, and Pleakley wants to go back to his community college. So at the same time, they all kind of get what they want, but that means leaving Lilo behind. So that's where we find our friends at the very beginning kind of separated. They're being forced to go their separate ways, not really thinking about Ohana. And what are you going to do? Lilo sort of tries to carry on, but soon enough things happen that brings them back together. Leroy. So yeah, it's all kind of crazy. So that happens in this, and again we get to be introduced to Ruben here and see what he's all about. And there's a ton of other voices throughout this. Rob Paulson, I said, Jeff Bennett. We see here a lot from Bobcat Goldthwait shows up in this. Tress McNeil, Lillian Mooney and Ving Rhames. So yeah, there's so many people in this. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, it's if you're a fan. Oh, there's Tara Strong, of course. So if you get a chance, if you've already seen this, but maybe revisit it. Maybe make it a marathon. Watch the series, watch this, and you'll be all Lilo and Stitched out, or Leroy and Stitched out. I don't know, but yeah, it's like I said, it's not going to live up to the original. It's very few things can, but it still has the spirit, and Lilo is still the weird kid in a very awesome way. She's got a mind that is unlike hardly any of the other characters in any Disney film, and that's kind of fantastic. She's got an imagination beyond belief, and it's great to hear her express things, even if that they have to be made up, but it's possible she lives with aliens. So let's pick tomorrow's episode.
103.
103. 103. Okay. Something tells me we might have watched this already, but I'm not exactly sure. I get this now a lot when I'm toward the end of these things. Well, unless it's a sequel, or maybe I just thought I watched it and I didn't. I don't know. But this is a docu-series, I believe. We'll probably just watch one episode. I think I've watched this before. Maybe that's why I'm thinking I've seen it already. I don't know. But anyway, let's check this out. It is called Cosmos, a Space-Time Oddity. Or Odyssey. Oddity. Yeah, I'm going to channeling David Bowie here. It's actually Neil deGrasse Tyson. So produced by Seth MacFarlane of Family Guy and everything else. So, but I think it's a modern take on the classic Cosmos series. So we'll be back here with that. Cosmos, a Space-Time Odyssey on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you here tomorrow. With that, bye. I was right. We have seen a Cosmos series. Cosmos Possible Worlds. I looked at here. Cosmos. And there's nothing called a Space-Time Odyssey. So that means that we're gonna have to pick another one. So again, and we did watch Possible Worlds previously. That's why I was confused. So maybe they had it on and they took it off already. I'm not really sure. But let's pick tomorrow's episode again.
532.
532. That should put us very well in the thes. 532, I think, or just toward the end of the list, really. I gotta make absolutely sure. 532. Yep, it is 532. I have seen this one, and part of me wonders why we haven't, like, when I choose these things usually, but I'll have to check this again to make sure that it's not something we already have watched. But of course I've seen this one. This is a short, The Simpsons, The Force Awakens from its nap. Yes, it's one of those Disney Plus originals starring Maggie, requiring almost no voice work whatsoever. So, yeah. The Simpsons, The Force Awakens from its nap, a Star Wars crossover with The Simpsons on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow.